we start from a place of thinking that we have to be fast and efficient with our response to a gift. So that means if I have a form letter on my computer and the minute your donation comes in, I can hit 3 buttons and send you out a thank you letter, you have completely missed hit. Because form letters are no longer hit. So you gotta be careful about that stuff. Now, what do you notice when it comes in the mail? You notice an envelope that's not the same shape as all the rest of them. You notice something that has a lot of bright colors on it. You notice something that has some sort of a logo that looks almost like a Nike swoosh, right? Because it's hip. Right, here we go. Silhouettes jumping up and down on the beach, all right? This is a thank you that I will notice that makes me feel like my gift was to something hip and cool, not something that was just a machine. Having a Facebook page is a supporter of this sense that it's hip to be engaged in that candidacy or to that project. But it should never be your primary source of asking. Because what did I say earlier? People give to people. They don't give to Facebook pages. So you gotta remember that. Don't substitute it. Support it. Balance it on both sides. This is a study that was done where they specifically asked high net worth individuals, why do you make gifts? Now remember, this is for the nonprofit world. It's not exactly the political arena. But as I mentioned earlier, I think many of these things are translatable. So what is it that makes high net worth individuals feel like they should be giving? Moved at how their gift can make a difference. Feel financially secure so that they can make gifts in the first place. They give to organizations that are efficient. I want to translate that a little bit because efficiency in and of itself is not a great thing, but it's the opposite of wasteful. High net worth individuals can't stand giving to organizations that send them 6 thank you letters because then they know they're wasteful. They can't stand giving to organizations when the same newsletter comes to their mailbox 3 times because they've never cleaned out their mailing list. So high net worth, that's when they say efficient. They're talking about the opposite of wasteful. They're not talking about be so efficient that you only call me once a year, because they want to be called all the time. They want to give back to the community. They match the political and philosophical beliefs of who they're giving to. They volunteer for the organization. 52% of high net worth people give because they volunteer. That is the biggest and most important statistic on this whole chart. Because high net worth people are perceived as not wanting to be involved. They just want to write a check. They're too busy, they're too important, they don't want to. That's bunk. And it's getting bigger every year. High net worth people want to be engaged in the organization they're giving to. They want to make phone calls. They want to show up on 5K race day and hand out t-shirts. They want to be engaged with you. And their giving grows if they are. 31% give because somebody asked them. And you'd be amazed at how many of them say, I would have given to somebody else, but they never asked. We hear that story all the time. So be askers. 4.9, the tiniest percent of all give because it helps business. Because it doesn't, and they know it. But we think high net worth people give because it's going to be better for business and because they get a tax write-off. And when you think about how Obama got elected to office, he was probably the least up front behind a podium visible of any presidential candidate we've ever had, but had the largest social network we've ever seen. People walked into the polling booth and voted for Obama because they thought he was their best friend. He knew 14 million people personally because of how that communication went electronically on Facebook. Now, is that going to be the case for running for city council, county board of supervisors, school district? Probably not. But the game is different, and it's different in politics than it is in nonprofits. People will respond a little bit better and differently to a political office candidacy electronic communication than they will from a private school or YMCA electronic communication, right? Here's another one of my international Chinese student stories. What's interesting is, when a concert is coming here, and she wants to go see the concert, I'm panicked. No, you're not going to Staples Center for a concert all by yourself, right? But I have 3 friends that I'm going with. Well, I've learned now, 2 years later, when she says friend, that means somebody that she's hit the friend button on Facebook. In China, you have 7,000 friends because you click the like button. They've never met. But she's going to go to a concert with this person and they're going to take care of each other, right? So we have to understand. But in the political world, that kind of friend and that kind of community means everything. Because even though we don't think they're friends, they think they're friends.
I'm talking about on these local races, how to find a balance when asking for donations. Because I'm a big Julia Brown fan, however, I got an email every day. And you know, and that got old, even though I voted for her and I donate, but you sent me an email every day.
And on that as well, you get the glossy that comes, you know, and you're like, I already committed. Why are you wasting your money on this big glossy that's coming to my house again? I've already committed, and that feels wasteful. It's already said yes.
I totally agree, and I totally agree with the sense of balance, but I would throw one caution at you. What was my comment about Kimberly the political geek, all right? You guys notice that stuff? Joe General Citizen doesn't notice. And if they see it 7 days in a row in a high glossy, it finally sinks in. And when they go to the ballot box, they remember that name. Really important. Go ahead, Cheryl.
I think the difference is in political and nonprofit fundraising with what we're talking about. Because a nonprofit, if they were to do that over and over and over again, it'd be dead to the end of it. Whereas the political thing is a little different. It's a short time, it's more intense, and obviously they would keep doing it if it didn't work. But it doesn't work for nonprofits.
Well, remember too, that we're in this room today talking about how to get people to donate to us. Those glossy flyers are just getting you to mark their box on the ballot box. It's not asking you to donate, so they're asking for something different. And asking someone to donate requires much more delicacy than asking somebody to fill in the box on the ballot. And we're going to get now into some of our advice to you about proven practices to both take advantage of some of these reasons that people give and to counteract the reasons that people don't give, okay? So the best practices in fundraising, first I'm going to start again with that phrase, people give to people, they don't give to causes. So the more often that the tone of your fundraising effort is about, I'm a supporter, will you please join me in supporting? That has power. People give to people, they don't give to causes. Second, money follows engagement. So every opportunity that you can create a way for somebody to feel like they are on your team helping, they become more likely givers. Every opportunity you can to find a way for somebody to be a volunteer with you in your campaign, you will find more donations that way. Strong case for support. We haven't talked about that a lot, and it is a phrase that we use in the nonprofit fundraising world all the time. And that is, you've got to have what gets better in the world because I made a gift. Your case for support. How is life as we know it better because you made a donation? This has to be concise. It has to be repeatable. And all the people that are your engagement group have to be able to say it the same way you do.